Now, Lady Bear Legacy on Z27.
Welcome to the Lady Bear Legacy Coaches Show with Missouri State head coach Amako Guga-Hamilton. I'm your host, Matt Vereen. And coach, a 3-0 week, 5-0 now in the Valley. Still plenty left to go, but you got to be happy with your team so far in conference play.
Very proud of my team. It's been a difficult week. 3 games that close together, and we still have 2 more to go this week. It takes a lot of resilience from your players. It takes a lot of toughness. And it just takes a lot of heart, so I'm very proud of us.
And not just 3 games this week, pretty big ones. You had the Drake rivalry, always a big one. But as you've made a point to say, you want to show every game you're the top team in this conference, and to do that, you got to beat the other top teams.
We have to, and we have to perform at a high level. Last night against SIU, I didn't think we performed at a high level the whole time. Our defense was where it needed to be, but offensively I thought we were a little uninterested. So we got to grow from that, and it's just so much better to be able to learn and grow from wins rather than losses. You
mentioned the SIU game as your first midweek game under this Valley season structure. Did that impact the week of preparation at all? I know you at least got the Gulf Coast Showcase back at the beginning of the year for a taste of 3 close games this season.
Yeah, I mean, it was different, because we now, for the last couple of weeks, have gotten into a little bit of a rhythm with the back-to-back on the weekend, and then now you throw a game in the middle of that, and then still have the back-to-back coming up this weekend. So it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to ask of our players, but it's just kind of the year that we are in. Some of these games, the Valpo game was rescheduled, so it wasn't necessarily supposed to be this weekend. So this is the card, the hand that we were dealt, and we just have to make the best of it.
Well, you certainly did. Before we get to that midweek game, though, we will start with the Drake series. First up, Game 1 against the Bulldogs last Friday. Last time these two met on the JQH court, it was Sydney Manning with the 3 winning it. This time, it was Ellie Ruffordge's 3 leading the way. First up, 2 opening quarter fast break triples, and on the assist from Caleb both times.
Yeah, Ellie played tremendous this past weekend. She really opened the floor for us with the way she was shooting the ball.
And then that pair raised it up a notch. Caleb coming up here with an unbelievable save going out of bounds. Gets it to Ruffordge for her 3rd 3.
I tell you what, Bryce's effort on both sides of the ball was really impressive this past weekend.
You're up 38-29 at halftime. 3rd quarter, Drake closing it a bit. Berg's 3 makes it 43-36. The Mizzou transfer had 25 points.
She's a great player. I thought we did a good job on her the next day, but that first game, she really got away from us.
Caleb responding Ruffordge style, 3 triples of her own in the 3rd puts y'all back up double digits.
Yeah, the way that Bryce is shooting the ball is making her a big problem for people to guard.
Early Valley Player of the Year contender. Drake closes it once more, though, in the 4th quarter. Caleb coming up with a rare turnover, and the Bulldogs pull within 3 in the final seconds.
I think that was a little bit of fatigue. Bryce played 37 minutes and played hard. So they got her one time, but we got it back.
The real eyebrow raiser here. Strange finish. Drake needing a 3 to tie. Geldner connects, but it's only for 2. Lady Bears win 73-72. But, Coach, what was your reaction to that?
Well, we wanted to run her off the line. We didn't want to give up a 3 at the end, obviously, to give them a chance. So we did what we were supposed to do, and, I guess they just wanted to get up a shot at the end, and it wasn't good enough.
Good for the people in Vegas, at least. Let's take a look at the Houlihan's game stats. And, Coach, shooting percentage numbers strongly in the Bulldogs' favor, 60-41, but you're creating far more opportunities, especially through turnovers, 22-9.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, I liked our percentages. I thought we shot it well from the 3-point line. Our free throws were coming up. Rebounds, I mean, we got out-rebounded that first game, made that up the next game, but I didn't mind our numbers that game.
I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, a big emphasis you carried from this one into Game 2 was rebounds. You got out-rebounded this one 32-30, and afterwards you said it wouldn't happen again, and like you said, spoiler alert for Game 2, it did not happen again.
It did not. It's going to be pretty tough for teams to out-rebound us twice in a row. I mean, for them to even out-rebound us at all is disappointing, but because that's something that we put our stamp on every game, but we made it up in the 2nd game.
Well, a big first win over rivals Drake, but work to do just 24 hours later in the rematch. We'll break down Game 2 after the break, but first, here is a look at the conference scoreboard.
Price Cutter is my local florist.
Price Cutter is my local pharmacy.
Price Cutter is my local butcher.
Price Cutter is where I go for the best produce.
Price Cutter is where I pick up my morning coffee.
Price Cutter is my store.
Come see the Price Cutter difference for yourself. Price Cutter. Local matters.
when an accident, theft, or severe weather knock you down. Shelter Insurance is there to help pick you up. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
If some of your health care has been on hold lately, it's time to come back to Mercy. We'll help you come back safely by following strict standards for disinfecting, social distancing, and requiring masks for all patients, visitors, and coworkers. Find tips to help you stay safe at mercy.net/bearssafety. Visit mercy.net/bearssafety and plan to come back safely for the care you need. At Mercy, your life is our life's work.
I don't know why I can't come with you.
Ever since they left, my mind's been a little fried.
I gotta do this on my own.
So long, nacho fries.
Whenever Taco Bell takes them off the menu, he can't escape the craving.
The whole town was built on old seasoning.
Oh, no, you don't consume me! I consume you!
Nacho fries are
Welcome back. And Coach, you got a tough start to the Valley this year. Last week it was you and I back-to-back. This week it was Drake back-to-back. And coming off such a close first game against the Bulldogs, what was your main focus heading into the second one?
Well, we had to make some adjustments. We had to make sure we took care of Grace Berg. She had 25 points the first night. Our defensive intensity had to come up. I thought they got too many of their open looks. They ran their system kind of uninterrupted that first night. We gave them too many points. So most of our adjustments were on the defensive end. Offensively, we needed some people to show up. Jasmine Franklin was one of them, and she did that.
Let's jump in and see how those adjustments paid off with Drake Volume 2. And Coach, you're going to have to teach me this handshake one day that you do with your assistant coach. As for the on-the-court action, Ellie Ruffridge had the 3 triples in the first quarter of Game 1, opens the scoring with another 3 in Game 2.
Ellie really just opened up the floor with us with the way she was shooting the ball.
That sparked one heck of a start. 8 forced Drake turnovers in the first quarter. One here from Caleb, who feeds ahead to Abby Hipp, and you're up 11-0 out of the gate.
That toughness from Bryce really set the tone. Abby Hipp showed up that game as well.
You talked about defense. Big part was shutting down Grace Berg with Sydney Wilson marking her. Berg gets the and one here, but just 9 points after 25 in Game 1.
Sydney Wilson did a tremendous job. She took that personal, and she really wanted to shut her down.
Speaking of Wilson, they're the 3 Lady Bears leading 37-25.
And Sydney Wilson is doing a good job of stretching the defense, too, and just getting her confidence back with her shot.
And with the clock running out, Ben-Har adds triple of her own. You're up 41-26 at halftime. Third quarter, Drake rallies back. The 3 here from Kiara Collier has them within 3, 52-49 into your timeout.
Yeah, I mean, we had to call timeout there, and I think this is where Bryce kind of came out and opened the game up for us. That's what big-time players do. They make big plays.
Absolutely. As you can see, this and one caps a personal 5-0 run from Caleb to regain momentum 57-49.
That's what we need from her. That's our leader.
Fourth quarter, the Jasmine Franklin show. You talked about it earlier. She was huge in this one. 8 points and 3 boards on the way to 20 and 10. Her 17th career double-double as your group completes the sweep 78-63.
That's how Jasmine needs to play. You know, I think that little break that we had kind of threw off rhythm, but she's doing a good job now. I mean, she can finish with the best of them. She's so athletic. She's such a force on the defensive end, and that's how we need her to play.
Big individual game from her. Let's take a look at the team stats from the Houlihan's game stats from Game 2. And, Coach, big one here. You flip the rebound numbers like we talked about from -2 in Game 1 against Drake to +14 in Game 2.
That's what we needed to do. That's a stat that the team really takes pride in. I obviously instilled that from the beginning, but, you know, it's who we are. And so I was happy to see us turn that around. I was happy to see us get back to 19 assists. And we shot the ball pretty well, especially from the field.
Yeah, you said that you were happy with the stats in Game 1 from shooting, but you improve here, assists, field goal percentage. Usually we've seen Game 2s get closer, but in this case, y'all found another gear in just a day's turnaround.
Yeah, we really wanted to make a statement with that game. I thought the first game was very competitive and close, but we wanted to come out and just make a statement with the second game and, you know, make some adjustments and be able to implement them. That's the only really good thing with the back-to-back. Your kids still know the team, they know the personnel, they know the system, and so when you make adjustments, it's easier for them to implement them rather than a month later.
Well, big 2 wins. Coming up next, we got a rare third highlight to get to, but first, here's a look at the Missouri Valley standings.
beautiful, spacious skies, purple mountains, and amber waves. For more than 70 years, Shelter Insurance has protected families as they've lived, laughed, and loved all of life's beauty. For your auto, home, and life, find an agent at shelterinsurance.com.
For you, life seemed to stand still this year, except for the pain in your knee. When you can't do what you love to do, it's time to take care of it. If you've put off the joint replacement you need this year, now is the time. Mercy's experts are ready to safely replace your knee so you can live without pain. Get back to what you love, because life's too short to wait. To learn more, visit mercy.net/MSU new knee.
I don't know why I can't come with you.
Ever since they left, my mind's been a little fried. I gotta do this on my own. So long, nacho fries.
Whenever Taco Bell takes them off the menu, he can't escape the craving.
The whole town was built on bold seasoning.
Oh no, you don't consume me! I consume you!
Price Cutter is more than just a place to get the freshest produce. It's more than a place to find the best cuts of meats or the widest variety of bakery items. At Price Cutter, we have a promise and responsibility to serve the local community. Over the years, we are fulfilling that promise by helping many of the local charities you love. When you shop at Price Cutter, you can be confident that you're helping to support the Ozarks. Price Cutter, local matters.
Welcome back. Usually we'd be talking player and play of the week here, but we got 3 highlights this week. Coach, last year coming off UNI and Drake wins, Southern Illinois was able to trip you up. This year again off Panther and Bulldog wins. You said you let the team celebrate the Drake wins for a day, and then it was right back to work for the Wednesday game.
Yeah, again, it was kind of weird to have a game in the middle of the week. Typically, maybe I could have gave them 2 days off after a battle like that with Drake, but we had to, obviously Sunday let their bodies recover and then kind of get back to it to prepare for SIU.
Well, let's roll the highlights between the Lady Bears and the Salukis. Ellie Ruffridge brought the energy off the tip in both the Drake games. Might as well make it 3 in a row. Nice inbounds here early. Going to set up her to hit and that makes it 4-0 Lady Bears.
Yeah, she actually hit a 2 on that one, but but it was the same kind of start, and we were happy to see it.
Rare to see the old 2 from Ruffridge. Salukis respond with a 9-0 run behind the 3 from Adriana Ketcher. 9-4 is your largest Valley deficit, and first time trailing in 120 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they came out and they were playing hard. They're coming off of a COVID pause, so I knew that they would have a lot of energy.
Yeah, we're playing hard too. Deficit didn't last long. Caleb Sandwin marks a 7-0 run and an 11-9 lead. And then the real star of this game got going. Emily Gartner's jumper, part of 6 straight points, 8 in the first quarter, 4 for 4 shooting in the first.
Emily's performance was so impressive, and I was so happy to see it. I mean, that kid, she's come a long way, and I know that she's just tapping into her potential right now.
You're up 19-12 after 1 quarter. Another bench player getting involved. Abby Jackson for 3 makes it 26-15. A 35-22 halftime advantage. Third quarter, Emily Gartner from 3, 5 for 5 shooting.
She did a good job. Her jumper was on, and that's what we love to see.
You got most of it from the line, though, in the third. 9 from 10. That was the only field goal. That trend continues into the fourth. Gartner's jumper, I mean, has the only 2 field goals since halftime.
She did. She put the team on her back, to be honest. We were struggling a little bit, and she got us going.
Second career double-double for her, 15 points, 12 boards, and here the assist to Franklin on the and one as you go on to win this one, 61-44.
Yeah, our post players really showed up. Emily Gardner and Abigail Jackson, I challenged both of them after that Drake game, the second one, and I just needed them to step up a little bit more. I mean, if we can go deeper, we're going to be even, that much harder to guard. We're going to be a better team, and those 2 are a big part of what we're trying to do. I thought they've been a little bit inconsistent, especially Abby J. So I was happy to see both of them respond. Abby J had a great first half, and then she kind of fizzled out a little bit in the second half, but that's a start. And Emily had a great game, probably her best game since I've been here at least. And so that's how they can play, and I just want them to play that way no matter who we're playing.
Well, let's look at the Houlihan's game stats from that one. And baskets were hard to come by for both sides, but the Lady Bear threes in particular, just 3 of 17 in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best offensive game for us. We were getting a lot of junk defense from SIU, a lot of different zones they threw at us, a lot of switches, things like that. And sometimes it slows you down and gets you out of rhythm. But I was happy to see us hit shots when we could, and also for our defense to be the way it was, because holding them to 44 points is pretty tough.
And a big part of the offense was at the free throw line. You went 16 of 18 to be exact.
That was our best free throw shooting game, I think, this season. And our players were screaming in the locker room when I told them that stat. That's something that we've been working on.
Well, coming up next, we're going to feature the Abby duo. That's Hip and Jackson, coming up after the break.
I don't know why I can't come with you.
Ever since they left, my mind's been a little fried. I gotta do this on my own. So long, nacho fries.
Whenever Taco Bell takes them off the menu, he can't escape the craving.
The whole town was built on bold seasoning.
No, you don't consume me! I consume you!
Price Cutter is more than just a place to get the freshest produce. It's more than a place to find the best cuts of meats or the widest variety of bakery items. At Price Cutter, we have a promise and responsibility to serve the local community. Over the years, we are fulfilling that promise by helping many of the local charities you love. When you shop at Price Cutter, you can be confident that you're helping to support the Ozarks. Price Cutter, local matters.
Yeah, Grandma?
Getting a word in edgewise with Grandma isn't always easy.
Oh, yeah, your check.
Depositing her birthday check from your phone, on the other hand,
Of course I deposited the check.
surprisingly easy.
Yeah. It's in there. Yeah.
Mobile check deposit with the Great Southern mobile app. Easy. Download the app today.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities. For award-winning claims and sales service, find an agent at shelterinsurance.com.
Well, it's that time of game when we go one-on-one with a feature Lady Bear player, but with fewer shows, we still want to get as many players as possible. So now we're doubling up two-on-one style. First up, our Dan Lindblad talks with the Lady Bears Abby duo of seniors Hip and Jackson.
Abby Hip has been making the most of her fourth season at Missouri State.
Obviously, it's a little different than what, I would have wanted per se, but it's been really, really good, and I'm just super excited to have the opportunity to play.
Hip has already matched her career high with 16 points against Wake Forest. She's shooting nearly 47%, and she is averaging more rebounds per game than last season.
I feel like it's just all the little things, and I think I worked really, really hard this summer. Obviously, it was different with COVID, but when I was back at home, I was working really, really hard, and I think that's just kind of showing now.
Despite her seniority, Hip isn't going anywhere anytime soon. She was one of the first Lady Bears to announce she will use a fifth year of eligibility.
It was honestly a pretty relatively easy decision for me. I think if anyone knows me pretty well, they know that I love basketball and I love this team and love this university.
While also keeping eyes on her future.
Honestly, the next step for me, I want to become a college coach, and it would most likely be GAing and getting my master's, so I'm just going to kind of get a head start on that and continue playing while I can.
While Abby Hip might be more of a vocal leader,
it's not really difficult. It's more confusing, because when they call Abby, I'm like, is it me or is it Abby? Which Abby?
Abby Jackson is a more soft-spoken Lady Bear. A native of Little Rock, Arkansas, Jackson transferred in from Auburn last winter and was on the Missouri State bench for a portion of last season.
I honestly love what they have going on here. It's a good atmosphere. The team is so bonded and close, and the coaches are great here. So I feel like the place I need to go.
Jackson knew she would play for the Lady Bears this season, just didn't know if it would be to start Valley play or to start the regular season.
I feel like forever. Yeah, went a long time without answers.
A week before the first game of the season, Jackson received the waiver.
Finally, honestly. I was just tired of waiting.
She remains a threat from mid-range while leading the team in block shots.
I get hype off of blocking shots. If I can block your shot, I'm going to try to block it.
And making the most of every moment.
It's what I thought it would be. It's a lot of, I like the competition, so it's nice to have that. And we all just, go after it.
For Lady Bear Legacy, I'm Dan Lindblad.
Coach, I imagine it must have been nice news when you found out Abby J was cleared, and now to see her coming off a great game against SIU, kind of adding an extra element off the bench.
For sure. Abby J, she's quiet, but she's such a great kid. And she's actually not that quiet when she's around us, but she's just getting acclimated to a new system, new roles, things like that. But, I mean, her God-given talent is just through the roof, and she's so athletic. Her potential is crazy. So I just want her to get better every game.
Abby Hipp certainly not quiet. I imagine, once again, good news when you found out that she was going to try and come back, play for another 5th year.
Yes, of course. Abby Hipp is the glue of our team. She's a great leader, but she's a great player. She's really elevating her game, and the sky's the limit for her, and I just can't wait to see what's next.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take another break, but when we come back, we will look at the upcoming games for the Lady Bears. Welcome back to the show. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's next on the schedule for the Lady Bears, and it's back to the road for Missouri State, taking a trip to Indiana to visit the Valparaiso Crusaders. They're 6-6 overall, 2-3 in the conference, but some impressive results. They beat Illinois and Purdue and took Wisconsin to overtime in non-conference. And Coach, you came from Michigan State. You know there's some talent up there in the Big Ten.
Definitely, and also Valpo is a very talented team. They're a team that plays up to their competition, so I expect them to come out ready for us.
And this is a quick turnaround on the schedule. I mean, you're coming off Drake games and this SIU game, and like we talked about earlier, not one you were originally kind of planning for with the schedule switch around.
Yeah, and you know, Valpo's coming off a rest too, not a pause, but they just had a break in their schedule. They haven't played since last Tuesday, so we're coming in a little bit fatigued, of course, but we just got to find a way. You know, the tougher team always wins.
I remember coming into last year when we had this coaches show, you had talked about the expected depth of the conference, just the parity and all the talent top to bottom. So when you see a team like Valparaiso, who's, you know, sitting around middle of the road in the conference standings, go out there and nearly beat 3 Big Ten teams in non-conference play, that I feel like once again this year we're talking about this is a talented conference.
Oh, it is. I believe our net this year is 8 overall, and we're a very talented conference. Any given day, you know, you can get beat. And that's why I've said to our players, we can't overlook anybody, can't play the front of anybody's jersey. We got to worry about us and be us and do us every single game. Valpo's a very talented team, and I expect them to come out and be very competitive. They have guards that can score, prolific shooters. They got a good point guard. They got not a traditional post player, but they do have posts that are very versatile. So we have to be able to guard on the perimeter as far as post players, and we have to be able to execute our game plan.
And you're coming off a game against SIU that, once again, like not having a traditional post player. You had Gartner go off in that one. What's kind of the mindset now? What's your focus on your side head into this game with the Crusaders?
Well, we need to get our offense flowing a little bit better for sure, but also defensively we need to be able to guard on the perimeter as far as post players. That's big, you know, because we have traditional post players. They don't. You know, most of theirs are guard-like, and so our post players have to be able to switch out and be able to keep people in front without fouling, things like that. So our defense has to be clicking on all cylinders, but offensively they switch 1 through 5, they front the post, so we just have to make sure our offense is flowing.
Laterburrs don't return home until February 5th and 6th when they host Indiana State. That first one, February 6th, is a 7 o'clock p.m. tip-off. And we saw in that first Drake game, a strong crowd can make all the difference for y'all.
It can. I love our fans. We appreciate them so much. They motivate us, and they definitely help us get over the hump in games.
That game is 2 weeks away. Even the first Drake game feels like an eternity ago. I can only imagine for you talking about a game that's 2 weeks down the road must just feel like forever.
It does. This week has felt like forever, but we're focused on Valpo right now.
Obviously, it's hard to plan that far ahead, especially when you're talking about a season like this one in 2020, or 2021 now, where nothing's really guaranteed. So I imagine that even more, you're taking that one game at a time approach, just focusing on what's right ahead and right in front of you.
Yeah, we're staying present. You got to stay present. You know, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We're just grateful to get out under the lights and play and perform for our fans. Any opportunity we get to do that is a great day.
Obviously, some big games here. How do you keep your team? I mean, you're coming off huge Drake games. You let your team celebrate there. You get the win over SIU. You talk about, you know, taking everyone, respecting every team that's ahead. Just how do you keep that mentality into these next ones?
Yeah, I mean, well, Valpo, our team is going to respect Valpo because they've done some great things this season and in recent years. But, you know, we have to respect everybody, obviously. And we learned a little bit of a lesson from the SIU game.
Well, that's going to do it for another edition of Lady Bear Legacy. Coach, we wish you the best of luck. For head coach Mox, I'm your host, Matt Vereen. We will see you next week, or we will see you at the Q.